Hey, I'm on. There we are. Hey, how's it going? This is Adam. I'm back with a haircut. If you might have seen our comedy video earlier today. But yeah, we didn't do anything last week. We kind of got sidetracked. It was a rainy day, and there was just lots of stuff going on. Yeah, and Anna has to get up early, so she's not joining me for this. But that's okay, because I'm talking about something that I watched by myself last weekend, and that was the Stargirl show, which, I hadn't watched as of yet. It came out, I think, sometime last year or year before, something like that, on the DC Universe app. And I kind of just got behind on those shows because I still have to finish the second season of Doom Patrol. But I thought, you know what, I needed something to watch. Wasn't watching anything else. I'm like, you know what, superhero thing, I'll give it a shot. Not expecting much from it, just thinking, oh, it'll probably be schlocky and stupid and stuff like that. But I have to say, it really wasn't. I was actually really pleasantly surprised. Now you could say I'm not going to go through every episode and all that because that was last week. I don't remember every single thing, but I thought they handled a lot of stuff well. The budget for the show was obviously a little bit better than a CW show would be because it was on the DC Universe. So I thought the acting was solid for. It's superhero show acting, so it's not going to be top notch, but it's solid. Luke Wilson is pretty good in the show. Most of the people playing the villains are solid. Even the teenage actors are pretty decent, and they act like teenagers, which is what they're playing. So that makes sense. I think the lead girl's pretty good. There's times when you might look at the first few episodes where you're like, oh, she's just being impulsive, and that's like, oh, she's just so perfect. But I really don't think so. I would disagree with that statement. I don't really feel like she's a Mary Sue, like some people like to call any strong female character sometimes too much. And there's times when that does happen, but like this was not one of them, because I think there was definitely times where she got her butt kicked. There were definitely times when she had to learn a lesson. There's definitely times where her teammates were calling her out for, being so impulsive and not thinking of anybody but herself. Which I thought was refreshing. It was refreshing to see that it wasn't just gonna be just like prop her up. She is wonderful, and a lot of times people write this thing where they can't criticize the main character. And that drives me nuts because I'm a writer myself. Because any character, male or female or non-binary, whatever the case, anybody can make mistakes because superhero or not, you're still human at the end of the day. Or maybe you're an alien, depending if you're Superman or not. But so I think it's refreshing when, heroes have to make mistakes because that's how you grow. That's how the hero's journey works, which is something that's been lost a lot in writing sometimes with shows, especially with Hollywood sometimes, is that hero's journey, taking that hero's journey to get, stronger, learning from mistakes you've made. And I feel like by the end of the show, I think a lot of the characters take that journey, What was nice for it, too, is like, I wasn't that familiar with, I know that Stargirl was more or less made up for the show. It was based off a lesser known character, I think Star Spangled Kid, and then there was a character they wrote. But they handled it well, and like a lot of them were from the JSA, the characters that the teenagers take over. But it wasn't just like they were just some random schlubs that took over this role. Because I looked up all the characters that were the quote-unquote, like, taking the mantle of those characters. And every one of them was comic book accurate characters, So I thought that was cool, too. Because a lot of times you see kind of laziness where they're just like, yeah, we threw this person in here, and they're just going to pick up the mantle for no reason. I thought the girl playing Dr. Midnight was really funny. I liked her very much, like, wide-eyed innocence. Which is, is something you don't see enough in superhero shows too, is because you get sometimes where you get so much darkness going on, or you get overly political. Nothing wrong with being political too a little bit, but sometimes you get Batwoman or Supergirl where it gets a little too much, where every single episode and you're getting lectured, and it's like, okay, I get it, I understand your position and stuff like that, and it's not that I'm against your position, but it's like, can we get back to the fun part of the show too? And Supergirl's had some moments where it was decent, but Batwoman is that's just a whole other story. Although at least the new lead is at least a better actress than Ruby Rose was, but that's a whole other thing. But obviously this was not put out by it's on CW now, and I guess the second season is going to be on CW. So hard to say if some of the stuff that was good about it will be completely wiped away by new people and CW standards. But I liked it also they didn't like feel the need to force in any type of relationship stuff. Like there's one point where she's sort of the guy who's the son of Icicle, like asked her to homecoming dance or something like that, but then she gets like beat down by the mean girl who's the daughter of, I think it's the Dragon King, I think is the character's name. So she doesn't actually get to go to homecoming, but they don't actually really come back to it too much. I assume he'll probably be more involved in the second season. But I thought they handled it was a lot of like, there were some cheesy moments here and there, but to me, there's nothing wrong with a superhero show being a little cheesy here and there. Now, you don't want to have it overly cheesy to the point where it's too ridiculous. But, like, I mean, when you think about something like Guardians of the Galaxy or, like, the upcoming Suicide Squad, when you have characters like King Shark and you have Killer Croc and things like that, it's like, come on, guys. You have characters like that, you have to at least have some goofiness. It's like comic book movies at the end of the day should at least be fun, and like I said, I think, and me and Anna will do a video on Falcon and Winter Soldier. I feel like Falcon and Winter Soldier was able to be political without being overly political, and like how sometimes CW shows would just like hammer it over your head what we're talking about instead of being subtle and weaving it into the story and what's going on in this world. And I thought that they handled it very well on that show, but we'll talk about that. This is not about that show, so stop getting distracted, Adam. So, anyway, I feel like overall it's a pretty good watch. I think it's 13 episodes, I believe. And like I said, it won't be on the DC Universe anymore because that's pretty much not a thing anymore. It's pretty much just going to be, if you want to read comic books, you can still use it, but pretty much everything's going to HBO Max or will be on CW. But I really did enjoy it. It was a nice surprise because I went into it seeing like, well, we'll see how this goes. But like, it was for characters I really didn't know all that much about. I mean, I've heard of a few of the villain characters. I really liked Sportsmaster and Tigress. I thought they were great. They were super funny, I thought, too. And definitely hammed it up. The guy playing Icicle was really, without being so obvious with the word, he was very chilling. Without being the pun of that, but I thought his performance was good. I thought the guy that, what was the character's name? The king. It was something king. I forget. Anyway, his son was a sport guy, and I forget. But I forget some of the characters. I don't have them in front of me. I didn't prepare for this. It's just an impulsive thing. I'm so impulsive. Anyway, but yeah, I would definitely say give Stargirl a shot. It's a pretty good watch. I believe you can see it on the CW app right now. You might be able to find it on Netflix or HBO Max. I'm not positive if it's on there or not. But yeah, it just you're gonna have fun with it. I think it's a fun show. It's not for everybody, but I think if you just want to have a nice, fun show, you don't have to sit there and overly think about stuff, and see some fun characters and stuff like that. You got Hour Man in there, and you have Dr. Midnight and Wildcat. That was cool. Like the Wildcat outfit looks really freaking good. Like I was really impressed with the way, and his powers and stuff like that. Because that was a character that didn't get used well in Arrow. But then again, a lot of characters didn't get used well in Arrow. But I thought that it was cool to see kind of how his powers would be. I'd love to see something where, like, you did, like Anna had suggested, like, having a Black Canary show where you would have Ted Grant there training her. I think that would be great. Just to kind of see him. Because he's a cool age hero. So anyway, yeah, check out Stargirl, guys. I definitely enjoyed it, and I recommend that you check it out. All right, guys. I'll probably be back with some other videos. If not this week, then next week, or maybe later. I do have a ranting video I wanted to do about a certain movie that's super popular, and I don't understand why. I'll get to that later. So anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in, and hope you enjoyed. Thanks.